is right. How are you guys feeling after seeing people watch the movie last night and hearing it? What was that like?
Oh my gosh, we still have not watched the movie with an audience.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still too
because Jonah, who plays Oliver,
He's
not
too
old
young.
enough. Yeah, so he was having dinner, so we didn't want to leave him by himself having dinner. So
That is very cute of you guys.
It's very nice, and we were terrified of watching it with an audience. But yeah, more so Jonah.
Yeah, it was I was kind of hoping you guys were going to be at least listening, just because the responses were crazy. Like there were,
I heard. I feel like I wish we did. Yeah,
there were like multiple moments where people just like gave a round of applause for
That's
insane. For the kind of absolute like horrific shit that you guys were putting on the screen.
See, oh my gosh, I needed to hear. What do they applaud at?
Okay, so and we can talk. This is going to be held till June, so we can talk about spoilers. The mouth, the biting the table. People like lost their shit over that one, and while the teeth were cracking, they're like ah. Also, the arm peel. The arm peel was a big one, and the knife. But that one really freaked people out. I'd seen that already because I did the trailer launch, and it was like people were really freaking out with that one.
Oh my gosh!
God, I really wanted like it recorded or something.
Yeah. Damn, one day we'll watch it with an audience.
Yeah, you got plenty of time. The movie's not even out yet. But kind of like going all the way back, could you talk a little bit for people who are listeners who like don't know how you guys got started? Could you talk a little bit about Rakaraka and kind of the origins of your filmmaking stuff and how you started with wrestling and just really your origin story that got you to here?
We started off very, very young making stuff. Like we first got our hands on our dad's video camera when we were like 9 years old. And we haven't stopped making stuff ever since then. And all the way through growing up, we would like mock things that we loved. So that it was like, I loved Buffy, so we do like our own spin on Buffy. Or it was like, I love Child's Play, so we would do the evil flamingo based on my sister's doll. It was all that sort of stuff. And then we had this series that we were doing as kids, like from the ages of 13 to 18. We had like 10 seasons of this thing, and then it was like 80 episodes, and we were on the 6th and final film of this series, and everyone was like, we're too old to be doing this. Everyone was like, yeah, they're like, why are we still making, they're like, we're not kids anymore. But we still loved doing it. So that fell apart, but I still needed a way to, make things or express myself. So we started just making sort of fake fails online, which was like pretending that I stuck a knife in a toaster and it blew up. or like mocking the Harlem Shake and pretending this explosion went off. So it was all these sort of fake fails, and they were going viral online. And so we needed a place to like put everything, and so we made Rakaraka, and that became our job for like the next.
But it was never intentional, like that. Yeah, because we were making short films as well that were. We were trying to, because we wanted to get into film and television, so we were working on film sets and trying to get enough money to make our own short films, and we did a couple. But the YouTube, like the online stuff, was just exploding. And then, so we made a channel, Rakaraka, to put everything on. And then just, there was one video took off. And then we're like, oh, what if we put actual energy into this? The energy that we're putting into the short films and stuff, let's put that into the YouTube channel and see where it goes. And then it was, our jobs for like 10 years or something crazy like that.
Because my job before that, because I literally can't do anything else, I was a lab rat. So I would check in the hospitals and then try out drugs that weren't on the market yet. That was literally my job for like 3 years.
I'm glad you moved on from that. I feel like this is a safer job. I feel like 3 years is like you put in your time as a medical test patient. And now...
you know what? I sort of want to return. I want to make my return. I want to do one more trial. One more trial.
Say one last trial, one last job.
Yeah, make it called the final trial.
Oh yeah, that's your next. There we are. After the deathmatch wrestling, that's your next one, right?
Yeah.
What did it feel like? Because I feel like a lot of times when we make art and we make movies and I make comic books and stuff, it really does just start with like making shit with your friends. So how did it feel to kind of make that stuff with your friends, keep making it, and then suddenly you put it online and it just like changes your life and kind of changes the trajectory of where you're going?
It's so weird because nothing, even though everything's changing, when you're in the middle of it, you don't really reflect or realize that it's changing. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh yeah, this is this now. Oh, this is happening now. Oh yeah, this. And so like that's what it sort of felt like. But it did feel like that we were getting stronger maybe as filmmakers. We're all learning so much by doing so much.
And meeting amazing people.
Yeah.
So like through YouTube, we're able to meet amazing other artists that we'd work with. Some that we still work with now, like our makeup artist, Beck Barato.
Yeah.
She used to help us way back in the day, with YouTube stuff. So and now she's head of department for makeup. And there's all those people that we met along the way that we know are passionate and love what they do. And bringing them on the set with us is the most incredible thing. And you don't lose that, It's already such a mammoth task making a movie. It's so hard. You want to at least have fun while you're doing it and surround yourself with people that are passionate and want to be there.
What comic books do you write? What I want to
Okay. So recently, I've been writing Godzilla comic books, like official Godzilla. Wow. Yeah, I love Godzilla. We recently did one called Monster Island Summer Camp that's about Godzilla's son Manila going to summer camp, and that was like a graphic novel for kids. So that was like a blessing. I actually am really, really stoked they just announced, because I love horror, but for some reason I just like ended up writing more like kids comics. But I have a Creepshow story in the next Creepshow anthology. So I'm
congratulations!
I'm very stoked about that, because that was like definitely one of the things that scared me as a kid. So now getting to be like doing a version of it, and it's about like living in like a shitty rental apartment. So I feel like I'm getting to like channel my lived experience into Creepshow.
It's a very personal story, this one.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, guys, it's emotional. Well, you guys were sort of talking about like the makeup and the people you brought along. Something I love about all your movies, but I think like this in particular really leans in to like the practical nature of like horror and SFX, and that's something that you guys were always doing. So could you talk a little bit about like why that was always so important to you guys?
It seems like I love when you can use horror or body horror to reflect themes or to express something, and there's stuff that you can't even put into words, and the only way to express it is through these sort of visuals. And that's so exciting. And the idea of like trying to execute something practically and the challenge of it, and like it always feels like those practical effects stand the test of time. I don't know, that's always like the funnest part when we're writing anything. Like automatically we're thinking about that sort of stuff and like how we can execute it in the the most elaborate way possible. And it's such a fun puzzle to try and solve.
Yeah, and you guys were working with like I was lucky enough. The first Mortal Kombat movie, I got to go to the set, and like I fucking love Mortal Kombat. And you guys worked with Scarecrow Studios, right? Like on the effects, they're so amazing. I actually, when we did the Mortal Kombat set, they were like, they knew I'm like the loser of the set visit, and they were like, who wants to get some facial like scar and walk around with it all day? And they were like, Rosie, we know it's you. So and Scarecrow got to do it for me and everything. So I was really stoked to see. Could you talk a little bit about how like having those kind of physical aspects on set and it being all in camera, like can you distinctly see how that helps the cast kind of experience it in a more real way?
Yeah, because they're not acting off something that's not there. It's there in front of their face, and even being in that makeup and that prosthetics helps you get to a place. It's none of it. Yeah, so there's like a realism to it. So that's always the most incredible thing. Like even when we were filming some of that stuff, and you're like behind the camera, the whole crew's wincing as well. Like you're
oh
like,
yeah,
God, it looks so good, but it's so fucking violent. Like, yeah. And because all those, when you get that collaboration of amazing artists doing practical stuff, it's like there's a buzz that comes from it.
And there is these things where like sometimes you've only got one shot at something, like you've made something,
yeah.
And you're like, oh my gosh, this has to work. I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen when we roll the cameras, but like, yeah, like you just gotta hope, you gotta pray, and there's always something incredible that you capture, and that's I don't know, that feels like a part of the magic of film.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so talk a little bit about. You said like Talk to Me is definitely like your party horror. I mean, I remember at the trailer launch, people were talking to you about how they were using like the hand that A24 gave out as like a bong. So it was so inherently like a party movie. And obviously there's like a fun to that. You're working with young people. You kind of establish yourself as like good with working with young people. But then for Bring Her Back, you're like, okay, how do we do a movie that's more violent, more scary, and has a younger cast? So could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's so interesting. Like the young characters, because they were developed at the same time, there was this interchange that was sort of happening between the projects. And like both films have like in one lens a fun montage, but in another lens a really fucked up montage. So like that felt like there was a parallel there. And yeah, they feel like brother sister films to me. And yeah, and the challenge of working with a younger cast or a young cast, they just bring something raw and authentic, and they're not pretending too much. Like they are putting themselves sort of in those positions and playing those characters in a more real way. So that's always super rewarding. Also to the idea of like helping these people break out as well is so cool. Like I feel like Jonah playing Oliver is going to explode, and Sora, if she wanted to pursue it, could definitely pursue it. Like yeah, that feels really rewarding as well.
Yeah, I thought Sora was like so brilliant. I actually asked you guys like at the trailer launch, I was the one who was like, so tell me about having someone who is like sight impaired as your lead character. I feel like we don't really get to have disabled people in horror movies unless they're the villains and stuff. And so now I've seen the movie, I get, Sora gets to be the final girl if there is one. She's obviously very traumatized. Could you talk a little bit? I would love to hear you guys tell the story about what inspired that character, because I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was based on our friend's little sister who's non-sighted, and she was wanting to catch the bus by herself, and her family were a little bit reluctant and a bit worried about it because, it could be really dangerous, and that she really wanted to learn how to navigate the world on her own and learn how to be independent. And I could see both sides of that argument, and it was a fascinating argument. And so I continued talking with her, and then she ended up saying, I was like, what do you feel like it would be to see? Like, what do you think that would feel like? What that experience be like? And she's like, I'm glad I can't see because I don't have to see the ugly things in the world. And it was such a profound statement, and it became like the thematic base for the entire film. And she's so strong and resilient, and she fights with her brother, and they're like roughhouse a little bit, and like same with Sora, like she fights with her dad and wrestles with her dad.
She was like, my favorite part of the movie was getting to choke out Billy.
Oh my God, she literally, she's so down for everything. She did all her own stunts, all these own stunts, and like was jumping in the pool, diving in there, rolling down these hills, like goalball even, which is like a sport that you see in the film.
Really cool to see that on screen.
That's a terrifying sport.
It hurts so much.
The ball is so heavy. I could just tell from how it's going across the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you lay there and you just hear it coming towards you, like, oh, fuck.
It's a bowl full of bells, and it's like you can't see, you're blindfolded, and so you're having to block it and you're hearing it. So this thing is coming at you, and it is terrifying. And it's such a rough, tough sport. And it's just like there's a resilience. And Sora would just like jump in the pool, dive in, and was like loved being so physical and practical. It was amazing.
Yeah, I love that because I also think it like contradicts a lot of ideas about what people think about like frailty of people who can't see or who are disabled or who are women or who are women of color. And instead we get Sora who's just like absolutely fucking going for it at like every point.
And would never fall down. She never falls. Like that's what I love. Like that's what I love about Piper as well. Always getting back up, and so she inspires me and like overcomes these things. Like,
Piper's going down as a legendary final girl. I think like she fucking does that moment when she just fucking throws the glass into Laura's head. Everyone in the cinema was just like. Like everyone was like, "What a fucking throw!" Like just like dunked her right in the forehead.
Nailed it. Oh yes, awesome.
I also thought something was really cool about the bell ball kind of sports scene is like the ball is coming towards Sora as like everything. Just like something comes towards Piper as everything fucking comes towards her, and you kind of. I thought that was really really cool, and I would. Yeah, I mean the movie is. Definitely, I think part of the reason I loved it is like it spoke very deeply to like my experience of like being a kid, and I think like something I really loved. And feel free to be like, fuck off, I don't want to talk about the themes. The art should speak for itself. But like, I really love. I think a lot of times about how like I don't have any kids. I will never have kids. But like, I think a lot about how like kids are viewed kind of as adults' property. Like if you're an adult, you can like beat your kid and nobody cares, but if you beat your wife, then you shouldn't do that, you know? Like, and a kid is seen as kind of this like thing that is an extension of yourself. And I thought the movie was really interesting around that and kind of the agency of these kids who go through this terrible thing, and then they just put them with this other adult and they're like, they'll look after you now. So could you kind of talk about the real life inspirations that led you to make this movie? Because it's like, it does feel like a companion piece to Talk to Me, but I think people who've only really watched Rakaraka or who have seen Talk to Me, I think they are going to be really shocked by kind of how dark this movie goes.
Yeah, there were so many different things that were inspiring different thematic parts of the film, and like it's always tapping into things that like freak you out or scare you, and so like a never-ending grief cycle and not being able to break out of that was a really big thing that was a thematic part. And then the idea of a psychologist that is trained to help nurture and fix people, like using those skills to try and break somebody, like that is so terrifying to me. Or yeah, an adult guardian with different motives,
ulterior motives.
That's
it's supposed to be trusting
and the person who takes care of you and
yeah, and then there's things in life that kind of inspire that experiences that's like, oh, this person's supposed to be looking after us.
Yeah,
but there's other things that like that's not their whole reason. Like you're full trusting in them, but that's not their full thing, you know.
Yeah, and then also like looking at Laura in a way that it's like not always like an inherently bad person. And like how this has twisted her and like this grief has turned her into a monster, and in turn she's turning this other kid into a monster. Yeah, there's just so many things, and it's so hard to like put into words, but like visually putting it out there is a way to sort of express
I think like even for me there was something that felt very cathartic about watching the movie, and kind of, so I'm sure that for you guys it's the same. It's like you put it on the screen. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. I want my friends who are mums to watch it. Because awesome, even just as like I have a lot of nieces and nephews. I am like a perennial auntie, and I love that. But like even for me, like the early parts of the movie, I'm like thinking, I don't want to think those things, but I have OCD, so I'm constantly ruminating. But like I'm like watching it, and the brain is going like, well, what if that was your niece? Or what if that is your nephew? And even for that, it's like the gut check is like so fucking huge of like, well, I probably would do anything. But like, where is the line of anything? I want to know, like, I want to see the parents watching this movie and hearing their responses, because I think that's going to be like a really interesting, unexpected kind of response, because we don't really get a lot of horror that is about like the realities of being a parent, or like the kind of the absolute inherent fear that you just constantly have if you love a child, because you're like, something terrible could happen. Like that's basically your life once you have a kid. There
was so many different parents that we spoke to, and it's like a part of the process as well when you're building out these characters and listening to certain experiences. And then even like a mum talking about like her nightmare for years, there were stairs in their house that she would wake up, come down, and the kid had fallen down the stairs or passed away, and like that is so horrific. And then like talking about like, where would that line be? How far would you go? Like what would you do? And like that's always fascinating, and hearing the answers. And then like one thing like between all of them is like they would definitely take their own life or lose there would be lives.
Like they would swap their life, no question.
100%.
So then you start like, well, who else's life would you
exactly
swap?
Yeah So I'm like, that's always the thing. I'm like, okay, and what about this? And they're like, and then
they're like, don't record me. Like it sounds like this is entrapment, guys.
This is totally anonymous.
Hypothetical question: would you kill a child?
But there has been a lot of moms that have watched it that aren't even horror fans that have loved the movie.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like it's gonna find an audience there, kind of like the Babadook did, which I know you guys worked on.
Yeah, it was awesome. We loved working on the Babadook.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And it's so fascinating, because like in my head only like because my YouTube audience is always 15 to 25-year-old guys, that's always what I think the audience is always going to be, and so like we've sat next to people and watched it in like when we're like trying out cuts and stuff like that, and watching of mums and stuff, and their reaction is way more profound than anyone else's, which is so beautiful and so magical, and having like a deep conversation about it afterwards, yeah, it's super rewarding.
Yeah, also as well, like your audience is growing up. Like, I hate to tell you guys, but you guys have been doing this for quite a long time. Like, we're all getting old. Terrible news.
No, we're still young and hip.
I'm still cool. I do fight with that every day. I'm like, guys, I have tattoos. Can't you tell I'm like cool? I'm not like other adults, guys. But like also this
every adult thinks they look younger than they do.
Exactly.
Like I don't even look like I'm in my 30s.
They're still IDing me. Like, come on, guys. Like, you just live in America. They fucking ID everyone. But like, it also there is like a version of this where kids have like grown up with your storytelling, and for someone who is now in that like 28 and above, there's a chance that they have kids and they watch this and they're like, oh shit, like this shit's like, you guys are growing up with them, you know?
Yeah, they're more mature than we are.
But what's amazing, it's so interesting, like meeting people that have grown up on the videos, and like the support like from people has been so incredible. Like there were just people like around the block at this screening.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was
that was crazy, right?
At the screening.
It's the warmest feeling. Like I feel, I feel so lucky to be able to do this and to have people be that supportive. It's and so incredible.
What was it like taking that step from, because you were like always wanting to make movies, right?
Yeah.
And that's why you started it. Then you diverge into this like unexpected online career that's like a smash hit success. So you've already achieved a lot of the stuff that people want to achieve. How did it feel to then take that step into filmmaking, like feature filmmaking with Talk to Me? Like how did it feel when you made it? And not just that, how did it feel when, like you say with this, like suddenly everybody loved it? And you're getting those screenings and you're getting that kind of understanding of like, okay, we're connecting with people.
You never know because we had a screening with Talk to Me in Adelaide, where we're from. Before it got into Sundance or anything like that, it was just with family and friends and the cast. And then, we showed it, and then we were speaking to people, like, what do you guys think? And everyone's like, it was good, yeah. Like,
thanks,
cool.
Mate. Appreciate that.
And where do we what now?
What
and
happens now?
Yeah, and then and I would never believe people when they said that they liked it, and then when it got into Sundance, it was suddenly like, oh my god, there might be something here. And then all those studios came to the Sundance screening, and they wanted the movie. All these different people wanted the movie. It was such a
But even when we bring it back when we were screening it and people were saying that they liked it, I was like, I don't believe you.
I still don't believe them. I don't know.
You're like, what do you like about it?
Yeah.
Did you watch it? Were you awake?
What did you hate about it?
That's like the ultimate creative cast, is like whatever we make, even if somebody loves it, we're gonna be like, probably not that good. You know, it's just okay.
Rosie,
But
it could be better. Rosie, can I say something?
It could be better. Yeah.
I love your laugh, Rosie. It is
thank you. It's very... My mum used to call it a Sid James laugh, like from those old Carry On movies. It's like... I was in the cinema... Dude, I was feeling bad yesterday. I was in the Aero, and like something terrifying would happen on screen, and I'd be like, ah! And then I'd be like, like fucking Popeye. And like, I'd be in the cinema, like, I'm killing the vibe, fucking Popeye. Sitting there, all these influencers, just like... I didn't used to love it, but now I love it. Like I'm cackling. Like
it sounds like a warm hug. I don't know. I love it.
I love that. Yeah, it's like I just think that there is something about finding like community in horror, and that is why like I'm from London originally, but I love living in LA. Like the magic of like being able to just like go to a movie screening like that last night, and I was really, no joke, guys. I'm getting old, as we talked about, but like I used to be like a gore hound. Like in my review that I did on Letterboxd of the movie, I gave it 5 stars, by the way, guys. I really fucking loved it. I was very profoundly moved by the movie. I'm going to be speaking to my therapist about it. And but I compared it to Martyrs, which was like a movie that I saw a long time ago and that really profoundly affected me, and I never watched it again. But I said your movie was better because I love Martyrs, but like this is a different level of storytelling.
My God, Martyrs is a grim one. That was a tough one.
I've only ever watched it once.
Yeah,
and the funniest thing is I wrote the Letterboxd review. And as I was waiting to use the bathroom afterwards, and there was a girl behind me, Alexandria, who we immediately became friends, and she was wearing a fucking Martyrs t-shirt.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, dude, this is like fucking blowing my mind. But it's like, I had actually messaged my incredible friend James, and I was like, hey man, like, I'm really scared to watch this movie. I was like, I used to be like a French New Extremity, like Saw, Gorehound. But as I've gotten older, that has like changed. Yeah. And I've kind of had less of an appetite for it. And I'd been to the trailer launch, so I'd seen the knife scene. And I really got into my own head about it. But I messaged James and I was like, you know what the one good thing is? Like, even if I'm really scared and I don't know anyone, and I didn't, it's gonna be in the era where there's just gonna be tons of people who fucking love movies, and that's like a great place to be. And that was kind of how I went into it, and I ended up just thinking it was so great, and I was not that scared. It was just like I was crying a lot.
yeah, it's one of those experiences.
Definitely.
I love the film culture. The film culture in LA, and when you go to New York, it's like I love how much people love film.
Yeah,
like it's such a there is a bit of a film movement inside Australia, but it's not like this where you can go and watch all these obscure films.
Even in London, like they had like one cinema that I love, Prince Charles Cinema, where I feel like you guys will definitely be for this movie because it's kind of our big rep cinema. But like in LA, you can just be like, oh, I really wish I could go and see like Possession, and they're like, well, there's 3 screenings today, and I'm like, oh, this is so fucking great.
Good.
Like,
it's heaven.
Exactly. It's very amazing to kind of have that community and have that space of just people who love movies and who are always excited to see something like this. Like most people went into this like really knowing nothing about it apart from the trailer, which I feel like you guys left stuff very open-ended. It doesn't really reveal a lot. So it was very cool to see just how much people responded to it. And like you said, I mean, I texted the producers of the pod, I texted our group chat and was like, there is like a 200 people line here.
Oh my
I was
gosh,
like, this is like very crazy. Like this is, and so it was very cool to see just how excited people are for it. Is that heartwarming for you guys, or is it like scary?
It's all. Yeah, I don't exactly know how to feel about it. I know it warms my heart, and it is like a fear for people watching it. And you know what was funny is that the line was big out there, and like a bunch of people couldn't get in. And I was like, I'm gonna go like say hello to the people that weren't allowed in. So I quickly went around the block and was shaking everyone's hands, but no one knew that they weren't not getting in. So,
you were
so
like the bearer of bad news.
Yeah,
like, I'm really sorry, man. Like, sorry you didn't make it in.
Yeah, they're like, oh, nice to meet you. Can't wait to see the film.
Can't wait to get in. And I was like, oh no, you can't come in. And they're like,
it was so bad. Like, because we
knew.
Yeah, we got told. Oh, they know. Yeah, they know. Yeah, you can go talk to them.
This is like A24 is bringing you to every screening there now. They're like, okay, guys, go tell them. Yeah. Like, we don't want to fucking tell them. Guys, the Philippou brothers are here. They're going to tell you ain't getting in. If you see Michael or Danny, you're not going in.
Yeah, man, that was tough. It was very heartwarming, and the energy was incredible. It was an amazing night. It was amazing.
And it's so cool that Sora, from Australia, is like in Hollywood now, like at a film premiere. That is incredible to me as well.
Well, I thought that was really amazing that you guys like had Sora and Jonas and Billy out there, like, because the movie is really theirs. Like, obviously you have Sally Hawkins, who we have to talk about because she's Sally fucking Hawkins. But like, what was it? How does it feel to have seen the kids go through the experience of making it and then get to see them kind of getting that acclaim? Because especially from the reviews that I was reading and the friends I spoke to, I'm definitely a Sora was my breakout, but I think a lot of people were really blown away by Billy.
Yeah.
I think that performance is really going to put him in those kind of conversations.
Yeah, so it's so that is like the most rewarding thing, and then hearing them applaud them and them being proud of the film as well. Like, you hear about people that make films that they're not proud of, or they're like embarrassed. Like, they're so proud of the movie. Like, Sora loves the movie. Billy loved the movie. Jonah isn't allowed to watch the movie.
That's so funny that he can't watch it. How old is he? like 10.
I think it's 12 now.
12. Okay.
Yeah, 10, 11. It was 10 when we filmed it.
10
or 11 when we filmed
He's
it.
he's got sensible parents. Because when I was his age, I was watching like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, no, my mum wouldn't let me, but I just fire. I watch it anyway.
Yeah.
It was actually banned in the UK till 2001. So
was it really?
Yeah, because of video nasty rules, it just never got unbanned. So like my dad had like a shitty VHS tape copy that was like, whoa, it's like a banned movie, bro. Before the internet, video nasties. Like, but yeah,
awesome.
12. I think my 12-year-old self probably would have been better not watching some movies. So good for Jonah's parents.
But it was because everyone worked so hard in the movie. Like everybody did. Everyone gave so much of themselves to make it the best thing possible. So to be able to bring them there so they can experience the rewards of it was so incredible. That last night was so much fun at that, and just having fun with it and celebrating with everyone, because it is such a hard process to make a movie, and like so they did all that hard work, so to be able to reward them, they're down like these like Australian kids in Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills.
Also, like Jonah was like running around with like all his little friends, like and it was like you were at a wedding, you know, and they got to stay up late.
That was a wedding.
Like they were like running, they were like running up and down, like they're on the balcony, and I was like, yes, I love this. This is exactly how it should be.
And all the drunk uncles. This is let me have a look at this. It's so funny. This is Sora's dad and Jonah's dad in the photo booth together.
Oh my God, that's so cute. It is a picture of two dads, and they are looking very excited to be there. I know. I made sure, like, I saw Sora with her dad, and I made sure to go up, and I was like, "Congratulations, Sora, you were really, really good." And I was like, I hope you feeling that dad in your heart. That like, I'm like, she did it. Like this is if she, like you said, if she wants to pursue it, I think all three of them are going to be in a great position. I mean, Jonah, he could become like a creature actor, like the world's youngest monster actor, like young Doug Jones, you know?
Yeah. And so physical and so down for it. And then it was on the table where it's like, you don't have to do the prosthetic side of it. Once the demon starts breaking out of you, we can get like an older actor and stuff like that, because there is a lot of prosthetics. Like it is going to be like, you know, it's full on. But he was like, no. Like, I want to do it. And he was so down for it and keen for it, and
I
never
love that.
complained.
That to do that every day, like with prosthetics and with a smile on his face, and want to come back and do more. Yeah, we're forever indebted to Joe.
And we had those conversations with production, but like, there's a chance he just doesn't want to do it or doesn't want to come back. Like, and it's understandable. It's like we have to have like a fallback plan but yeah, he was just the best. It was incredible.
He was just so into it. I mean, it really is in a way like his movie. You know, there's that's kind of one of the things I love about the movie too, is you can really watch it from like any perspective. It can be Laura's movie, it can be Piper's movie, it can be Annie's movie, it can be, you know, Jonah's movie, and or should we say Ollie for now? But yeah, I thought it was astonishingly good. And obviously at the heart of that, aside from these brilliant kids who I love, and everyone on the podcast who listens to the podcast knows, I love to have like my little children, and I will kill anyone if they do something to them in the movie. And I was struggling with the Andy stuff. I was like crying in the seat next to me, like sorry to the lovely, very glamorous couple next to me, and then the lady next to me who was so fucking scared. She was screaming. But I was like crying away, just like a little grandma watching. Like, how could you do this to my darling children? Like, what are you doing? But otherwise, obviously, it's Sally Hawkins. So could you talk a little bit about that casting? Because I feel like this is so different for her, but I also feel like in a post-Sinners world, I feel like this could be like an Oscars type role. I just feel like she's so unbelievable and so different in this role. So could you talk about getting like the Sally Hawkins? And was that always your dream casting for Laura? Like, how did it happen?
It's literally like there was a list that was made up, and like Sally was at the top of the list. And like watching her films, and every single time she's in a movie, she's completely different. Like I love her in Eternal Beauty, and I love her in Blue Jasmine, and I love her in Paddington. And like
Paddington is like a transformative performance. The movie doesn't exist without. You believe that she's talking to Paddington every single time. Like I was showing it to friends recently, and I was like, this is why it works. Like Paddington is real to her in this movie. So to go from that to this is like a juxtaposition.
Yeah, I know, it certainly is. And it was like, I felt impossible that we were going to get it because that filmography was so strong, and because she'd played roles like Paddington and she'd never taken on like a horror role or a full genre role. So I was like, I don't think she'd even be interested, and we're not going to hear from her. So we sent the script, and like, we waited a couple of days, and then they got back to us. They're like, Sally loved the script, and I was like, what? I was like, are you kidding me? Like, she loved the script, and like she wants to talk to you guys. And then the next feel was she's gonna have an ego that like she's gonna have
we're afraid
Yeah,
like
like
a Hollywood
a rightful ego because she's Sally fucking Hawkins. So you wouldn't even blame her, but you're also like, do I want to work with that? Like, how will it work?
It's kind of like we want to be able to be open with people and try things and not be nervous about directing someone. So, but after that first call with her, she was so down to earth and amazing and picked up all these little nuances in the script that no one else had. And she was saying, like, she wanted to go deep. She said she likes going deep with the character. She walks around the shops as the character. She buys stuff to dress the set as in character. Like, all that stuff was so exciting.
She does Ding Dong Dash in character.
She does Ding Dong Dash in character. That was the best night. That was so good. God. It was funny because every house that we went to Ding Dong Dash.
Wait, for context, there's a scene in the movie that got cut where Laura takes these kids Ding Dong Dashing. And yeah, so that and then
one night we were like, it was like midnight, and we were going through the script, through the beats. We're talking about Ding Dong Dashing, and we said, "Do you want to? Should we go now?"
Like, have you ever Ding Dong Dash? She's like, no. And then she's like, yeah. Should we go now? She's like, yes.
She's like, can we?
Mr. Ding Dong Dashing. Like,
Like the funniest thing, because Sally is so funny. Every house that we went to, she had a different excuse. That's
she was ready.
No, the drapes. No, those drapes.
There might be someone in there.
Yeah. Or the tree. Look at the tree. Look at
She's
the tree.
like, this could actually be a murderer in this house, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in the mindset.
And then she goes, the spider webs there. That's not right. That's not right. Not this one. Every house.
Yeah, and then she did it, and then like the one that she did had cameras at the front of it, so I know,
somebody saw Sally Hawkins
Ding Dong Ditching at 1 a.m.
And her sprinting away is the funniest thing.
Oh, her run is so cute. She's like,
she's just unbelievable. So once she's on set, and I love like a limited setting movie, and the house is like so beautiful. Once she's on set and she's there with the kids, like, how does it kind of feel to start putting that to screen? Because this is just so different tonally, and it is aesthetically like such a gorgeous movie, but there's also like lore, as the kids would say, LORE, not LAW, as all my Discord members always drag me for. Like, I know I'm English, bruv, that's why it sounds like that. But like, there's so many different levels to it, but at the heart of it is this kind of familial relationship. So what did it start to feel like once you were there with the family that you'd built and kind of start delving into that kind of darkness?
Well, it was like, as much as we could, we structured the film so that the more difficult stuff was at the end for Sora, so that she could build up to like the heavier scenes. But
and
like
for Sally as well,
and for
so we can really track the performance.
And like naturally, it was very sequential, and it was very much like from them arriving from the house was the first thing that we shot with everybody, and like they were able to like get comfortable and grow into their characters, and you know what's coming. And like Sally's so good in these scenes.
She's so good early on. Like, you want to live there.
Yeah,
like that's the thing that I thought you guys got that was so cool. Like, I was homeless when I was a teenager, and I interacted with so many different like cool adults who would let you drink, who would smoke with you, but so often there was something behind that, and the reason that they're hanging around with a teenager or that they're happy with that kind of behavior. So there were just so many levels to those early moments, but at the same time, I absolutely still wanted to be in that house, like with her. Like, she has this magnetism even when from early on, like, she's cutting out Andy. She's not interested in him being there. The photo got like such a huge laugh in the cinema, because I think it just established very quickly where we were at, and Sally does this, like, there's this incredible moment. She takes a selfie of her and the kids, and she does this huge grin, like just the happiest, most fucking Paddington grin, and but she blocks out Andy, and you understand very quickly that Piper is the focus, but she manages to make it so warm and so fun that even though you know what's coming, you want to be in there. You want to be with her.
And that's the way that she's able to balance all these different things. And like, it was like I'm like, Laura's overcompensating a little bit here. And she's really. And so like, she's able to play all these little things so subtly and so beautifully. And then like the idea, like, she's able to portray this stuff. This is so exciting to shoot. the stuff that's coming, like, I can't even imagine what this is going to be like. And, like, Sally gets in such an amazing zone. And when she's there, she's there. And there were scenes where she was so scary to approach. Because she was so in the character and in the moment and stuff. And she's, like pacing and crying between takes and stuff. And you're, like, going up and trying to talk. But then there's also...
If she always gives 100%, even in rehearsals. So we say we're doing rehearsals, there's a part where she falls down, and there's some people like, now don't fall down, Sally. We can put a mat here if you want. She's like, oh, no, I'm not going to fall down. As soon as we start just going through the rehearsal, like she's 100% in it. Every take is like is the goal, like she's going for it 100%. Even when the cameras aren't rolling, even when it was Andy by himself in his room and there's got to be a knock at the door from Laura, she wanted to do that, even though she's not going to be on camera. She wanted to just be there and do everything. Yeah, everything is it. Incredible
and even Oliver like pushing up against there's a part where he like pushes up against the wall and like the stunty's like, I'm gonna put some pads on. She's like, would Laura be wearing pads?
She's like,
she covered in bruises and oh my God.
Even they're jumping into the pool when she gets Kathy. And that was the first thing that we shot. Was the very first thing. And the safety had like a wetsuit for her to wear to jump in, and she's like, was Laura wearing a wetsuit?
She's like, I don't think she'd have time to put that on before saving her child. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. No, I will. Yeah, I thought she was like so astonishing, and I just think that people are going to be really excited. I could talk to you all day about the movie, but I also don't want to take up all your time. So I think something people are really going to want to talk about is the knife scene. So just before I let you guys go, what are your memories of recording that scene on that day? Because I think like it looks really scary, but I'm guessing on set it was probably kind of fun because it's out there. So could you talk a little bit about that and kind of Jonah, that performance and that moment? Because I think it is going to be like one of the defining moments of the movie.
Literally when you're doing any of that practical stuff, it's so fun. He's got this foam knife that he's like gnawing on and doing all this sort of stuff. He's got these teeth that have magnets in it so we can control when they're sort of pushing it off, and there's like a bit of metal that's hidden under the foam knife. So like, let's try and get this and push this here. So he's got these fake magnet teeth in. And then we built his face as like a mannequin. And it was like so photoreal. And then we had a real knife on that. Like,
and the lip could get cut.
Yeah. So it was designed that the lip could get cut and everything. So like all of that stuff was like, you're grabbing all these different little pieces.
Yeah, it's so funny. Jonah said that because Danny was the one doing the like cutting the lip to get the right like
of course.
Lip. and Jonah's like, there was a lot of repressed aggression from Danny cutting my face.
Like, you've been mucking around a lot on set. So.
Yeah. You've been ding dong dashing people with us.
How dare you?
How dare you? How dare you?
The knife thing, I just want to think, so like really quickly, just jumping back to Sally, like the most magical part of the whole thing was movie nights of Sally Hawkins. Like I watched Whatever Happened to Baby Jane with Sally Hawkins.
Shut up.
And
that's
that
like
was
the
just
dream.
It was heaven. I loved it. And she was like doing the characters' voices. Like she was mocking them and doing the thing. And I'm like, oh God, she's so incredible.
Oh, I love that so much. And guys, congratulations. Thank you for coming on X-Ray Vision. And you can come back anytime. Even if you just want to like...
You've been amazing.
You've been amazing. Just come and talk about anything that you like. Movies, TV, horror movies, comic books. Just come back because this was a joy. And it was so great. And I hope you guys have a really lovely press tour for this. And I hope that you realize that you made something that's really, really cool.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Thank you. We love you. I actually love talking to you.
We're coming again.
I'm literally coming back on. I promise.
Come back.
Hell yeah.
X-Ray Vision is hosted by Jason Concepcion
and Rosie Knight
and is a production of iHeart Podcasts.
Our executive producers are Joelle Monique and Aaron Kaufman.
Our supervising producer is Abu Zafar.
Our producers are Carmen Laurent, Ian Johnson, and Bei Wang.
Our theme song is by Brian Vasquez with alternate theme songs by Aaron Kaufman.
Special thanks to Sol Rubin, Chris Lord, Kenny Goodman, and Heidi, our Discord moderator.